It's gonna be a good fight. No? You think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out. For sure. He can hit, bro. Like, he can hit. He's the only person I felt like when he swung, it felt like bricks was in his blood.
I see a motivated Ryan, which ultimately is going to make it very dangerous inside the ring. But I see a Barrios who is confident. Barrios is coming off a draw with the legendary Manny Pacquiao, which counts for a lot because, trust me, when Ryan hits him and he goes down, he's going to get right back up. So it might be a long night for both guys.
So, what's it like training with Ryan Garcia again, and what's your prediction for his fight?
Win. He's gonna win by knockout.
Thank you.
I think what this comes down.
Boxing just turned into a pressure cooker, and somebody forgot to turn the stove off. The pros have spoken. The predictions are in. And let's just say, confidence were currency, Vegas would need a new vault. We're talking about a fight. So explosive, it makes celebrity Twitter beef look like a kindergarten debate. Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Speed versus size. Flash versus fundamentals. Instagram king versus pressure machine. This isn't just a boxing match, it's a personality. Collision at 147 miles per hour. And here's where it gets wild. Several boxing insiders just dropped their final predictions, and they're not playing nice. Some say Garcia's left. Hook will land like a meteor from outer space. Others insist Barrios is about to turn this hype train into scrap metal. One former champion reportedly said, if this goes past 6 rounds, somebody's career changes forever. Forever, this isn't hype. This is tension thick enough to cut with a MOTHGUARD, so buckle up. Because when boxing pros start disagreeing this loudly, it means one thing: somebody's bound to get humbled on live television. Welcome to Punch Press. Let's talk chaos. The tension didn't start at the weigh-in. It didn't start at the press conference. It started the moment boxing insiders began whispering. This one's different. On one side, you've got Ryan Garcia, social media superstar, lightning fast hands, left hook that hits like it's mad at the world. Fighter who can post a selfie and knock someone out in the same week. The golden boy with movie star looks and knockout power that turns highlight reels into horror films. On the other side stands Mario Barrios, taller, longer, built like he was designed in a boxing laboratory. No flashy filters, no influencer vibes. Just straight pressure, discipline, and that calm. I'll see you in round 8. Stare, and suddenly, boxing pros started taking sides like it was a presidential election. Here's the backstory that adds gasoline to this fire. Garcia's journey hasn't exactly been smooth lately. Between high-profile fights, controversial headlines, and critics questioning everything from his focus to his fundamentals, he's been living in the spotlight, and not always the flattering kind. Some analysts claim he's still more brand than brawler. Others argue his speed alone is enough to erase doubt in under 3 rounds. Meanwhile, Barrios has quietly stacked experience like bricks in a fortress. He's been in deep waters. He's felt elite-level power. He's taken punches from names that would make casual fans Google their resumes. And that matters, because this isn't a YouTube exhibition. This is high-stakes prize fighting. Now here's where things got spicy. A former world champion reportedly said Garcia's defense is a suspense thriller waiting to happen. Translation: one mistake and it's night-night. Another respected trainer fired back, saying Barrios struggles with elite speed and could look like he's trying to catch Wi-Fi in the desert. If Garcia finds rhythm early, the predictions didn't just differ, they clashed. One camp insists Garcia's left hook is the equalizer. They describe it like a cheat code in a video game. If it lands clean, One analyst warned, Barrios won't have time to tweet about it. Harsh, maybe. Viral. Absolutely. But the Barrios supporters aren't laughing. They're pointing at size, reach, ring, IQ. They argue that Garcia hasn't consistently shown he can handle sustained pressure from a naturally bigger welterweight. They're questioning whether Ryan's speed translates the same way at 147 pounds. Because speed is flashy, until someone walks through it, and then there's conditioning. Critics have whispered about Garcia's stamina in longer fights. They've questioned whether he can maintain that explosive style beyond the early rounds. Barrios, on the other hand, has built a reputation for grinding opponents down like a slow-burning engine. Boxing is chess with consequences. And some pros are betting on Barrios to drag Garcia into deep waters and watch the fireworks fade. But let's not pretend. This is one-sided. Garcia's supporters argue that the doubters are underestimating him again. They bring up his knockout ratio. They replay clips of that left hook in slow motion like it's modern art. They point out that when Ryan is focused, he's terrifying. Not good. Terrifying. One veteran commentator described the matchup like this: it's a Ferrari versus a freight train. One explodes off the line. The other keeps coming no matter what. And that metaphor stuck, because this fight isn't just about skill. It's about identity. Garcia represents the modern boxing era of viral fame, crossover appeal, massive followings. Barrios represents the old-school grind, fewer headlines, more rounds, less talking, more punching. And when pros started making their final predictions, the room split right down the middle. Some see a Garcia knockout inside 6 rounds. They predict speed, overwhelming structure. They envision a left hook detonating and sending shockwaves through the division. Others foresee Barrios weathering the early storm, tightening the distance, turning the fight into a phone booth war, and forcing Garcia into uncomfortable territory. One former title holder reportedly warned, if Barrios survives the first 4 rounds clean, momentum flips. Flips. That's the word nobody can ignore. Because Garcia is explosive early, but Barrios is methodical late. It's a timeline battle, a race against endurance. And here's the twist that adds even more drama. Both fighters have something to prove. Garcia needs validation. Not Instagram likes, not viral clips. Validation in the form of a statement win that silences critics who question his discipline and durability. Barrios needs dominance. Victory that proves he's not just the taller guy in the ring, but the more complete fighter. This isn't just about belts. It's about narrative control. The boxing world is watching closely because whoever wins doesn't just take a paycheck. They reshape the conversation and the predictions. They're louder than ever. Some experts are calling it a coin flip. Others are betting their reputations on decisive outcomes. But one thing they all agree on. This fight changes TRAJEC, TORIES, because if Garcia wins spectacularly, he reclaims momentum and cements himself as must-see television with substance. If Barrios pulls it off convincingly, he crashes the hype party and steals the spotlight. That's why these final predictions feel heavier than usual. They're not casual guesses. They're professional stakes. Analysts putting their credibility on the line. Trainers backing their instincts. Former champions choosing sides like it's legacy chess. And as fight night approaches, the tension is thick enough to taste. Because somewhere between the speed and the size, between the flash and the fundamentals, one reality is waiting. Somebody's prediction is about to age beautifully, and somebody else's is about to look like milk left out in the sun. And that's where things get dangerous. And just when you thought the predictions couldn't get any louder, then chaos leveled up. Because Diagras leveled up. Because once the pros dropped their final picks, the internet did what it does best. it turned a boxing debate into a digital civil war. Boxing Twitter split faster than a bad relationship announcement. TikTok analysts started drawing imaginary punch trajectories like they were coaching from their bedrooms. Even casual fans who think southpaw is a seafood dish suddenly became tactical geniuses. The name Ryan Garcia started trending with phrases like early KO and left hook prophecy. Meanwhile, Mario Barrios was getting crowned the pressure king by fans who believe size and grit beat speed and glam. Every time, and then came the celebrity takes. Rappers chimed in. Former athletes posted cryptic emojis. A retired champion went live and said, "If Ryan stands tall with his chin up like that, Barrios is going to collect rent." That clip alone racked up millions of views because nothing sells like a warning. Wrapped in disrespect, memes flooded timelines. Like a digital tsunami. One viral post compared Garcia to a sports car with nitro boost explosive. Flashy, but you better not miss a gear. Another meme showed Barrios as a freight train labeled 147 pounds of regret. Subtle? Absolutely not. Effective? Completely. But here's where it gets spicy. Training footage started circulating. Garcia hitting the pads like he's trying to break the sound barrier fast, sharp, almost theatrical. His supporters screamed, "He looks locked in." Critics responded, "Pads don't punch back." Ouch. Then Barrios dropped his own training clips, grinding, sparring sessions. Body shots echoing through the gym like drum beats. No flashy filters, just sweat and repetition. Fans called it silent killer energy. His camp wasn't talking much. They were letting the work speak, and that contrast. It became the storyline. Flash versus furnace. One respected trainer went on record saying, "Ryan wins this in the first half or he's in trouble." Another countered, "Barrios doesn't need pretty. He needs persistent." The predictions evolved into tactical chess debates. If Garcia controls distance and lands that nuclear left hook early, it could be a short night. But if Barrios closes the gap, leans on him, makes it physical, and drags him into rounds 8, 9, 10, suddenly the glamour starts sweating. The wild analogies kept coming. One analyst said the fight feels like a Netflix thriller, fast start. Slow burn, shocking twist in the third act. Another described it as TikTok versus textbooks. Speed-driven highlight culture clashing with traditional boxing. Fundamentals. And let's not ignore the psychological warfare. Garcia's confidence has been loud, unapologetic, borderline cinematic. He talks like a man who sees the knockout before the first bell rings. That bravado energizes supporters, but it also fuels critics who think he underestimates adversity. Barrios, meanwhile, carries that quiet storm demeanor. No viral catchphrases. No flashy theatrics. Just a stare that says, "We'll see." That kind of calm makes people nervous because it suggests preparation. Even betting lines started shifting like stock market graphs. One day, Garcia edges ahead. The next, money pours in on Barrios. Analysts debated whether public hype is skewing perception or if insiders know something we don't. And then came the ultimate twist. A former champion boldly predicted a late round stoppage, but wouldn't say for who. Just said, "This won't go the distance." That ambiguity alone sent fans spiraling. Because in boxing, a stoppage prediction is like predicting thunder in a dry sky. The public outrage wasn't about morality. It was about pride. Garcia fans accused doubters of disrespect. Barrios supporters mocked the hype machine. Comment sections turned into digital sparring matches. "You'd think championship belts were being handed out in YouTube?" Replies, "Every new prediction added tension." One respected analyst broke it down clinically. If Ryan's timing is sharp and he sets traps, Barrios could walk into danger. But if Mario survives the early burst, the momentum shifts dramatically. That word again. Dramatically, because this fight doesn't feel routine. It feels personal. It feels like the boxing world quietly wants to see which narrative wins, Flash or Foundation. And the more pros spoke. The clearer one truth became: nobody is comfortable. Even those predicting victory for Garcia admit the margin is thin. Even Barrios believers acknowledge the danger in that left hand. This isn't dominance versus underdog. It's volatility versus resilience, and volatility sells. Fight Week interviews added even more layers. Garcia looked confident, almost playful. Barrios looked focused, almost surgical. The body language breakdown videos were relentless. Notice Ryan's relaxed shoulders. Notice Mario's unblinking stare, apparently. Everyone is a behavioral scientist now. The tension climbed with every soundbite, because when elite fighters collide at this level, one small mistake changes everything. A lazy jab, a mistimed slip, a split-second hesitation. In a fight like this, that's all it takes. The experts' final predictions weren't just guesses. They were warnings. Warnings about speed versus durability. Warnings about stamina versus explosiveness. Warnings about what happens when hype meets hunger, and as the hours tick down to fight night. One uncomfortable question lingers. What if the pros are split because they see two very real possibilities? What if this isn't about who's better, but who executes first? Because in a matchup this tight, predictions are like glass. One punch shatters them. And when that bell rings, all the memes, debates, and dramatic takes disappear. What remains? Two fighters, one spotlight, and a prediction that's about to be proven right, or painfully wrong. And then comes the moment nobody can rehearse. The bell rings. The lights blaze. The predictions evaporate into pure instinct, because once Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios step into that ring, every podcast take, every Twitter thread, every so-called inside source gets tested in real time. This isn't theory anymore. It's consequence. If Garcia detonates that left hook early and sends Barrios wobbling, the narrative flips overnight. The same critics who questioned his discipline will suddenly call him redefined and evolved. The headlines will scream redemption. The doubters will quietly log off. And Ryan, he'll reclaim momentum in a division that doesn't forgive hesitation. But if Barrios absorbs the storm and drags Garcia into the deep waters, round 8, 9, 10, that's where legacies wobble. Because if Mario turns this into a trench war and breaks down the speed with patience, the conversation shifts brutally. Suddenly, Garcia's hype machine looks fragile. Suddenly, the Flash feels flimsy. And suddenly, Barrios becomes the man who derailed the golden train. That's the razor's edge. This fight doesn't just impact rankings. It reshapes perception. Garcia's brand has always balanced spectacle with skill. A dominant win cements him as both entertainer and elite competitor. A stumble. It fuels critics who say he shines brightest under filters. Not floodlights. Barrios, meanwhile, stands on the edge of opportunity. A statement victory transforms him from respected contender to certified disruptor. It elevates him from dangerous opponent to division threat. And if he wins decisively, the boxing world will start mentioning his name in rooms that previously overlooked him. But let's zoom out. The aftermath won't just live in scorecards. It'll live in reputation. Boxing is ruthless with memory. One performance can redefine years of narrative. A single knockout becomes a career highlight. A single collapse becomes a career question mark. And that's why the pros' final predictions feel heavier than usual, because someone's analysis is about to look prophetic, and someone else's hot take is about to age like milk left in the desert. son, the ripple effects extend beyond the fighters. Promoters are watching. Future opponents are calculating. Welterweight contenders are scouting like chess players, studying weaknesses. If Garcia wins explosively, potential megafights ignite. If Barrios dominates, the matchmaking board gets rearranged like a deck of cards. Mid-dash shuffle, dot. And let's not pretend public opinion doesn't matter. Garcia carries a massive fan base. Millions of eyes. Every move amplified. A spectacular performance elevates his crossover appeal even further. Sponsors smile. Headlines glow. Momentum builds, but a flat showing. The internet will be merciless. Memes don't take vacations. Critics don't hesitate. The same digital crowd that hypes you can roast you in 4,000 resolution. Barrios doesn't have the same social media spotlight, but that works in his favor. Less noise. Less expectation. If he shocks the world, he becomes the calm storm that nobody saw coming. That's the beauty and brutality of this matchup. It's not just speed versus size. It's narrative versus reality. The boxing pros who gave their predictions aren't casual fans. They see technical layers most people miss. They notice foot placement, timing windows, defensive lapses. When they split this evenly, it signals one thing: uncertainty, and uncertainty in boxing is gasoline, because unpredictability creates legacy moments. If Garcia scores a highlight reel knockout, it'll replay for years. If Barrios grinds out a war and hands Garcia a lesson, it becomes a blueprint for future opponents. Either way, reputations will shift. One fighter walks away validated. The other walks away questioned. And here's the twist nobody likes to admit. Sometimes the fight itself changes a man. Even in victory, battles leave marks. Even in defeat, growth emerges. This isn't just about who gets their hand raised. It's about how they look doing it. If Garcia wins but struggles late, whispers continue. If Barrios loses but shows granite durability, respect increases. Boxing is layered. It doesn't deal in simple narratives, but fans. Fans crave clarity. They want a knockout, a statement, a decisive answer to all the debates. The pros have spoken. The camps have trained. The analysts have argued. Now comes the reckoning, and when it's over, the same experts who confidently chose sides will either celebrate their foresight or pretend they always saw both possibilities. That's boxing culture, bold predictions before the bell. Careful analysis after, but one truth remains: when the dust settles. When the gloves are unlaced, when the lights dim, this fight will leave a mark on the division. Maybe it crowns a star. Maybe it crowns a spoiler. Maybe it sparks a rematch demand louder than the original hype. What's guaranteed? Change, because in a matchup this volatile, somebody evolves, and somebody recalibrates. And when future contenders look back at this night, they'll circle it as the turning point. The moment speed met structure. The moment flash collided with fundamentals. The moment predictions faced reality, and that's why this isn't just another fight card entry. It's a crossroads, and somebody's about to take the one wrong turn. So now it's your turn. Who are you riding with? The lightning-fast highlight machine or the relentless pressure architect? Drop your final prediction in the comments right now. Don't sit on the fence. This isn't gymnastics. Pick a side and stand on it. Is Ryan Garcia detonating that left hook and sending shockwaves through the division? Or is Mario Barrios about to grind the hype into dust and walk out with a statement? Type it clearly. Garcia by KO. Barrios by stoppage. Decision war. Upset of the year. Let's see who really knows boxing and who's just shadowboxing in the comments. And if you felt the tension in this breakdown, smash that like button like it owes you championship money. Don't tap it politely, hit it with first round urgency. Subscribe and turn on notifications because in this sport, drama drops faster than a flash knockdown, and we cover it all. No sugarcoating, no safe takes, just straight pressure. Because when the bell rings and predictions explode, you don't want to be the one saying, "Wait, what happened?" Stay locked in, stay loud, stay ready. This is Punch Press, where the gloves come off and the truth swings back. See you after the final bell. See you after the final bell.